The Resident Evil 4 remake is just over the horizon. I remember rumors of this game being in development since the release of Resident Evil 3 Remake back in early 2020, and now here we are, just over a week away before the Resident Evil 4 Remake hit shelves. Just like with all their other Resident Evil games, Capcom delivered us a demo just a couple of weeks before the game releases. Now, I'm one of those weird Resident Evil fans who hasn't actually played the original RE4, so I've been really anticipating the remake to finally give me my introduction to the supposed masterpiece that everyone loves so much. Now, I'm not that big of a fan of Resident Evil. I'm kind of a newer fan. I've only played 2 games, and it's the 2 most recent remakes of Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 respectively. And I love both of those games. I love one of those games. In all seriousness, Resident Evil 2 is one of my favorite games ever made. The atmosphere, the combat, the tension, the exploration, the graphics, all of it is so great. Resident Evil 3, while still being a good game in my opinion, really lacked a lot of the things that made Resident Evil 2 special. There's already tons of videos out there critiquing Resident Evil 3 and where it went wrong, so I'm not here to dwell on the past, but I'm here to look forward to the future of the Resident Evil 4 remake. I played the demo quite a lot. I think I have about 5 hours collected on it now, so I wanted to give my perspective. The perspective of a younger player who hasn't actually gotten the chance to play Resident Evil 4, because I know most people who are going into this remake are longtime fans of the original, who have played the original on the GameCube back in the early 2000s when they were around my age. Watching all the trailers for Resident Evil 4 got me very excited, reasonably so. The cinematics looked beautiful, the graphics incredible. That's what we expect though, it's the RE engine, we know what we're getting at this point. But the gameplay looked a bit strange to me. It looked too try-hard epic and cinematic and not really like a fun, responsive combat system. But having played the demo for as long as I have, I can safely say my concerns have washed away completely, and I am only looking forward to playing this game. Groovy. I'm going to talk about all my negatives of the demo first, because there's really not much. I just want to get it out of the way so I can continue to go on and on about how fantastic this game looks to be. The performance. The RE engine is usually very well optimized, extremely smooth, but it seems to be kinda cracking under pressure with Resident Evil 4. I think the graphics are just overpowering it a little bit. The performance is really not up to standard that I've experienced with the RE engine through Devil May Cry 5, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3. The performance was very off. Even if you just run resolution mode, which was what I was doing. I didn't have on ray tracing, did not have on that new fancy hair strand technology. It's really impressive, very cool. Didn't have any of that on. It was like struggling to stay at a locked 60, which was a bit troublesome. I expected to stay there a bit more, so I feel like if I put on ray tracing and hair strands, it would kind of buckle a bit too hard, and I did try that and it stayed at like 40 to 30 frames, so not fantastic. But the frame rate mode was very strange because that stayed at a locked 60, probably higher, but I couldn't tell because I was playing on a PS5 on a TV. The frame rate mode made the game extremely blurry, and it's funny because I got the chance to try it on an Xbox Series X, and that frame rate mode wasn't blurry at all. That was perfectly crystal clear. The PlayStation 5's performance mode was a bit odd, so I would highly recommend playing on resolution mode and just foregoing the higher frame rates. That's really the only negative I have, honestly. The atmosphere was very rich, very thick, very tense, very creepy, very atmospheric. It was very cool. I really liked the atmosphere. I really liked the art design that they were going for. The graphics, obviously, were beautiful. I really like how they initially connect the story directly to the events of RE2. Leon is suffering from trauma, a bit of PTSD from the events that happened in Raccoon City. He feels guilt, he feels shame because he is one of the only people, along with Claire, Sherry, and Hunk, who made it out alive. I really love the combat. I love the enemy encounters. The enemies they're smarter than you probably think they would be. They're throwing shit at you, they're charging you, they're surrounding you, they're flanking you, they're grabbing hold of you to initiate combos with the others. If one of them grabs you from behind and the Chainsaw Man is there, they will point you towards the Chainsaw Man so you hopefully get cut in half. I really enjoy the gameplay. I was very unsure how they would take the RE2 style, very claustrophobic camera style, very slow movement, and kind of like mold that into an action game formula, because they tried that was the Resident Evil 3 remake, and I really don't think it worked there, like, at all. I thought the combat there was very, like, clunky, very difficult to manage. Did not enjoy the combat in Resident Evil 3 much at all, especially with Carlos and the assault rifle and how fast the enemies moved. Like, it was just too much. But I think they were able to strike a really good balance with the Resident Evil 4 remake from what we've played. And I know it's only one big combat encounter, but I was very, very thrilled by what I played. Guns all feel great. I love how there's like this sort of synergy to the enemies where, you know, they'll knock into each other, they'll fall over, they'll crash into one another and send each other flying. They can fall off of rooftops. They can, you know, they'll shove each other out of the way to get to Leon. If one of them wants to throw an axe, they will all duck out of the way so it hits you, you know. If Chainsaw Man is chasing you, he will cut through everyone else to get your ass, you know. It's really enjoyable. I love everything, the interactivity of everything there. It all feels so real, and it doesn't feel like phony or fake at all. It feels like a genuine, thrilling combat encounter. It's fantastic. I love the inclusion of the knife. I love that they kept the knife. They have Leon hold on to that knife that Officer Martin gave him in Resident Evil 2 Remake, and they have him use it as a parry weapon for stealth. You know, that's such an interesting way of making the combat encounters more dynamic, more melee focused. You know, you can gun the Chainsaw Man with a flash grenade and then run up to him and stab him in the throat, knock him on the ground. It's awesome. I love the roundhouse kick. Everyone knew the roundhouse kick was going to be in it. I know what the roundhouse kick was. I didn't even play the original, it's so iconic. But it's really done justice in this game. You just knock everybody back, and my god, it's so dynamic. There's so much effort put into it. It's amazing. I'm really thrilled. I love how seamlessly the cutscenes flow from gameplay to cutscene. In the middle of combat, you run into the house, shut the door, guy slams it, you know. During normal gameplay when it's not combat, you open the door seamlessly, cuts in, no pop in, no texture rendering, nothing. It is seamless. It's always moving at a good pace. It's always flowing. It's fantastic. I love it. The music, holy shit, the music. Really appreciate the tone that they went for with the game. They made it more gritty, more grounded, more serious like the new remake games, while still keeping a hint of goofy nonsense like the original had.
I'll let myself out. Where's everyone going? Bingo? Oh, nice. It's my lucky day. Bill me for the repairs later.
Yeah, honestly, man, I'm hyped. I'm hyped as shit. I can't wait to play this. It's coming out in just over a week, and I think this is a day one buy for me. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. I can't wait to play it. I hope everyone else had as great of an experience as I did, and if you're still watching, thank you. Thank you for sticking around, and this is my first time doing a video in well over a year, so if you enjoyed, please tell me what I can do better, because this is fun. I want to keep doing this. Please tell me, what can I do better? What can I change? What should I fix in editing? Is there audio issues, video issues, anything like that? But yeah, I'm going to go play the demo 15 more times, and yeah, that's about it. See ya.